I was halfway down the subway platform when I realized something felt wrong. The phone in my hand wasn't mine. Normally, I would have laughed at the mistake. Ethan and I owned identical black phones with matching clear cases. We had accidentally swapped them before. But that morning, I was already late for the most important presentation of my career. And turning back wasn't an option. I slipped onto the crowded train and tried to focus on work. My marketing firm was competing for a contract worth millions. If we secured it, I would finally have a chance at the promotion I had been chasing for years. My name is Chloe. I was 32 years old and had been married to Ethan for 3 years. From the outside, our marriage looked solid. We paid our bills on time, shared dinners most evenings, and rarely argued. Friends described us as stable, reliable, happy. Looking back, I realize appearances can hide a great deal. The train rattled through downtown Chicago, while commuters filled every inch of space around me. Then the phone buzzed. The screen displayed a familiar name, Sarah, my sister-in-law. I hesitated before answering. Ethan's family had a talent for creating drama where none existed. Still, I worried something might be wrong. The moment I accepted the call, Sarah began talking. Mom wants to know if you've convinced Chloe about the condo yet. My heart stopped. Sarah continued without waiting for a response. Seriously, Ethan, you're running out of time. If she adds your name to the deed, we're set. That place is worth a fortune now. I stood frozen. The condo she mentioned wasn't just property. It was my mother's final gift. Years before she passed away, she had purchased the small Lincoln Square apartment for me. While battling illness, she repeatedly told me to protect it. Always keep something that's yours. She would say, love is important, but security matters too. At the time, I thought she was worrying unnecessarily. I believed my husband loved me. Now Sarah's words echoed through my head like a warning I had ignored. She kept talking. Their mother wanted the condo sold. They planned to use the money for a larger home where everyone could live together. Sarah dreamed of opening a beauty studio in the basement. They even discussed my inheritance money, as if it already belonged to them. Every sentence felt like another crack spreading through the foundation of my marriage. Then Sarah laughed. Her mom is gone and her dad barely talks to her. Who's going to stop us? The cruelty of those words hit harder than anything else. To them, my loneliness wasn't a tragedy. It was an opportunity. I remembered Ethan casually suggesting investment ideas that required my inheritance. I remembered his mother's constant comments about married couples sharing everything. I remembered Sarah's jealousy whenever the condo was mentioned. Suddenly, every uncomfortable memory fit together like pieces of a puzzle. This wasn't a misunderstanding. It was a plan. Finally, I spoke. Sarah? Silence filled the line. A few seconds later, her voice trembled. Chloe? Yes. Panic instantly replaced confidence. She stumbled through excuses, claiming it had all been a joke. She insisted I misunderstood. But I had heard enough. I calmly informed her that neither the condo nor my inheritance belonged to anyone except me. Then I ended the call. For several moments, I stood motionless while the train continued forward. My chest ached. Not because strangers had discussed taking what was mine. Because my husband had clearly been part of the conversation. Messages immediately began flooding the phone. Chloe, answer me. Sarah didn't mean it. Please let me explain. Yesterday, I might have believed him. Today, I couldn't. As I stepped off the train and headed toward work, I realized something important. Trust, once broken, never returns in its original form. And for the first time since my wedding day, I began imagining a future without my husband in it. The presentation that afternoon was a blur. I smiled at clients, answered questions, and delivered every slide flawlessly. No one suspected my marriage was collapsing in real time. Hours later, my best friend Jessica called. Her voice was urgent. Chloe, I just saw Ethan, Sarah, and his mother at a coffee shop. My stomach tightened. Jessica lowered her voice. They were discussing how to convince you tonight. If guilt doesn't work, they're talking about threatening divorce. I closed my eyes. The last tiny piece of hope disappeared. Ethan wasn't fighting for our marriage. He was fighting for my assets. That evening, I returned home. The living room looked strangely formal. Ethan sat on the sofa beside his mother and sister, as if they were preparing for a business meeting rather than a family conversation. I didn't sit down. Instead, I asked a simple question. Have you ever wanted me to put your name on my condo? The silence answered before Ethan did. Eventually, he admitted he had considered it. His explanation sounded reasonable on the surface. Married couples should share things. It would help with future planning. But I already knew the truth. When I mentioned selling the property to support his family, nobody denied it. Sarah became defensive. His mother became angry. And Ethan remained silent. That silence told me everything. I walked into the bedroom and pulled a suitcase from the closet. Immediately, panic spread across Ethan's face. What are you doing? Leaving. The room exploded with protests. His mother accused me of embarrassing the family. Sarah called me selfish. Ethan begged me to calm down. Yet none of them apologized for what they had planned. None acknowledged the betrayal. They only cared that their plan had failed. I looked directly at my husband. For 3 years, I had loved him completely. I had defended him, supported him, trusted him. Now I saw a stranger. You didn't marry me because you valued me, I said quietly. You married me because you valued what I owned. His expression hardened. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then I rolled my suitcase toward the door. Nobody stopped me. That night, I stayed with Jessica. The next morning, we met with an attorney. The meeting changed everything. After reviewing my documents, the lawyer confirmed that both the condo and inheritance legally belonged to me. They had been acquired before marriage and remained separate property. The relief nearly made me cry. For the first time since the train ride, I could breathe. Over the following weeks, Ethan and his family grew increasingly aggressive. They demanded money. They threatened legal action. They insisted I owed them compensation for ending the marriage. Fortunately, every phone call, text message, and confrontation only strengthened my case. Eventually, the dispute reached court. The evidence was overwhelming. Financial records showed I had paid most household expenses. Recordings revealed their attempts to pressure and manipulate me. Legal documents proved the condo and inheritance were exclusively mine. The judge ruled entirely in my favor. Ethan received nothing. When the divorce became final, he approached me outside the courthouse. For the first time, he looked defeated. I'm sorry, he said. Months earlier, those words would have broken my heart. Now they felt empty. You aren't sorry for hurting me. I replied, you're sorry your plan failed. I walked away without looking back. A year later, my life looked completely different. I moved into the condo my mother had left me. I renovated it, planted flowers beneath the windows, and finally received the promotion I had worked toward for years. Most importantly, I rediscovered something I had nearly lost: myself. Sometimes people ask whether I regret ending the marriage. I don't. What I regret is ignoring the warning signs for so long. My mother's final lesson turned out to be the most valuable gift she ever gave me. Protect what belongs to you. Love generously, but never surrender your independence. Anyone who truly loves you will never ask you to sacrifice your security for their convenience. And when betrayal finally reveals itself, don't waste your energy begging for honesty. Gather the facts, stand your ground, and walk away with your dignity intact. That is exactly what I did.